Welcome to the Platform Engineering Playbook podcast, where everything you hear is built, reviewed, and improved by AI, by me, and by you, the listener. This show keeps me, and hopefully you, up to speed on the latest in platform engineering, SRE, DevOps, and production engineering. It's a living experiment in how AI can help us track, explain, and discuss the fast-moving world of infrastructure. Every episode is open source. If you've got something to add, correct, or challenge, head to platform-engineering-playbook.com. You'll find all the content and a link to the GitHub repo. Open a pull request, join the conversation, and make the playbook smarter. Let's get into it.
Today, we're tackling something every platform team deals with at year-end, cloud costs. And we've got 6 quick wins you can implement this week. But first, let's check the pulse of platform engineering. Security alert for anyone running Envoy. Version 1.36.3 just dropped with patches for 3 CVEs, including a request smuggling vulnerability and a JWT auth crash that could take down your proxy. If you're running Envoy in production, and let's be honest, most service meshes are, patch today, not next sprint. There's also a backport to 1.35.7 if you're not on the latest branch. In observability news, the Loki operator hit 0.9.0 with automatic network policy deployment and new critical alerts for ingester flush failures. Worth checking if you're running Loki in production. For the cloud infrastructure crowd, AWS announced Graviton 5-based M9G instances in preview. They're claiming 25 to 35% performance improvements over Graviton 4, significant for organizations already running ARM workloads at scale. And speaking of cost optimization, which is our main topic today, there's a new tool called uncloud for deploying containers across servers without Kubernetes complexity. It's relevant for teams questioning K8's overhead for simpler workloads. Sometimes the cheapest container orchestrator is no orchestrator at all. That's the news. And now let's talk about cloud cost quick wins for year-end. Global cloud spend is projected to hit $720 billion in 2025. That's up from about $600 billion last year, a 20% jump in a single year.
And here's the kicker that should make every CFO nervous. Organizations waste 20 to 30% of that on resources nobody's using. Do the math, and that's potentially $200 billion just evaporating into unused compute and forgotten storage.
But year-end is actually the perfect time to tackle this. Budgets are being reviewed, finance is asking why cloud costs keep climbing, and any savings you demonstrate now become ammunition for next year's platform investment.
Plus, unspent budget often gets clawed back. Show savings, and you prove your team knows how to optimize. That builds trust for future asks.
So let's get practical. We've identified 6 quick wins that most teams can implement this week. Not next quarter, not after a big FinOps initiative, this week.
And we're ordering these from easiest to implement to most impactful. Start at the top, work your way down.
Quick win number 1, the scheduling win. This alone can save 70% on non-production environments.
Here's the reality. Most dev and staging environments run 24/7, but developers actually use them 8 to 10 hours a day, 5 days a week. That means you're paying for 14 to 16 hours of idle time every day plus weekends.
The fix is dead simple. Automated scheduling. AWS has Instant Scheduler, Azure has Automation Runbooks, GCP has native scheduling. Set your dev cluster to shut down at 7 p.m. and spin up at 7 a.m.
Real example, a dev cluster costing $3,000 a month drops to $900 with scheduling. That's $25,000 a year saved on one environment.
The pushback you'll get is, but what if someone needs it at night?
And the answer is build in an override, a Slack command or a simple web form that extends the schedule for 4 hours. In practice, it gets used maybe twice a month.
Quick win number 2, the right-sizing reality check. This is where you find money hiding in plain sight.
Studies consistently show 40% of cloud instances are oversized for their workload. Most applications use less than 30% of provisioned CPU and memory.
The quick win here is simple. Pull up your cloud cost dashboard, look at your top 10 costliest instances, check their utilization over the past 30 days. If you see consistent utilization below 30%, that instance is a candidate for downsizing by one tier. An M5.xlarge running at 20% utilization, drop it to M5.large.
Savings are typically 25 to 40% per right-size instance. And modern clouds make this nearly zero risk. You can resize in minutes if something breaks.
The key is having monitoring in place. You need to know utilization before you make the call. If you're not measuring, you're guessing. Quick win number 3, the commitment play. This is where the big percentage savings live.
Reserved instances and savings plans offer up to 72% discount versus on-demand pricing. That's not a typo, 72%.
The trade-off is commitment. You're promising to pay for a certain amount of compute for 1 or 3 years. Get it wrong, and you're paying for resources you don't use.
So the quick analysis is, what's been running steady for 6 months or more? Those workloads are prime candidates: your production database, your core API servers, your monitoring stack.
Year-end timing matters here. Lock in 1-year commitments now, and you start seeing savings in January. That's a great way to start the fiscal year.
But don't overcommit. The rule of thumb is 70% coverage is usually optimal. Leave 30% on demand for flexibility and growth.
Quick win number 4, the spot and preemptible instances for fault-tolerant workloads. This is the 60 to 90% savings tier.
Spot instances are unused capacity that cloud providers sell at massive discounts. The catch is they can be reclaimed with little notice.
Which sounds scary until you identify the right workloads. CI/CD runners are perfect, batch processing jobs, dev environments, anything that can handle interruption and restart.
Real math here. A team running their build infrastructure on on-demand instances for $500 a month switched to Spot. New cost, $75 a month. Same builds, same speed, 85% savings.
The implementation is straightforward too. Most CI/CD platforms have native Spot support now. GitHub Actions, GitLab CI, Jenkins with the right plugins. It's often just a configuration flag.
Quick win number 5, storage tiering. This is where we stop lighting money on fire.
Most organizations keep everything in hot storage, every log file, every backup, every artifact, but 60 to 70% of data is accessed less than once per month.
That data should be in cold storage, S3 Glacier, Azure Archive, GCP Cold Line. The cost difference is dramatic. Hot storage might be $23 per terabyte per month. Glacier Deep Archive is under $1.
The quick action is to audit your S3 buckets or blob containers. AWS has S3 storage analytics built in. It shows you access patterns. Move anything untouched for 90 days to a cheaper tier.
And set up lifecycle policies so it happens automatically going forward. Data older than 30 days moves to infrequent access. Older than 90 days moves to Glacier. Set it and forget it.
Quick win number 6, the zombie hunt. This is weirdly satisfying.
Zombie resources are the orphaned infrastructure that nobody remembers creating. Unattached DBS volumes from terminated instances, elastic IPs that aren't associated with anything, snapshots from servers that no longer exist, load balancers pointing to empty target groups.
Every cloud provider has tools for this now. AWS Cost Explorer, Azure Advisor, GCP Recommender. They'll flag unused resources directly.
Typical find: $500 to $2,000 per month in zombie resources per AWS account, and large organizations often have dozens of accounts.
The satisfaction of deleting a year-old EBS volume that's been charging you $15 a month for nothing? Chef's kiss.
Just verify before you delete. Check with the team, check the tags. Make sure it's actually abandoned, not just dormant.
Now here's the complication. All of these wins require some cross-team coordination. Developers get attached to their resources. They'll say, I might need that someday.
Which is why framing matters. You're not taking away resources, you're optimizing spend so the team has budget for the things they actually need.
And each win you implement builds credibility. Demonstrate savings on dev environments, and suddenly leadership trusts you to look at production optimization.
Let's talk about how to present this to leadership, because finding savings is only half the battle.
The pitch structure is, we identified X dollars in immediate savings, here's our 90-day optimization roadmap, and investment in FinOps tooling pays back 3 to 5x.
The FinOps market is valued at $5.5 billion in 2025, with 35% year-over-year growth. That's not hype. That's organizations recognizing that cloud cost management is a real discipline.
Teams with dedicated FinOps practices see 20 to 30% better optimization outcomes. It's not just about tools. It's about having someone whose job is to watch the spend.
So here's your Monday morning checklist. 4 items:
maybe 3 hours total.
First, run your cloud provider's cost analyzer. It's free, it's built in, and it will immediately show you the obvious waste. 30 minutes.
Second, identify your top 5 zombie resources. Unattached volumes, unused IPs, orphan snapshots. 1 hour to find them, decide which are safe to delete.
Third, schedule one non-production environment. Pick your lowest risk dev cluster and set up automatic shutdown overnight. 2 hours to implement and test.
Fourth, present your findings to your manager. Here's what I found. Here's the potential savings. Here's what I'd need to do more. 30 minutes.
You do those 4 things and you walk into year-end reviews with a concrete story. I found $15,000 in annual savings in 3 hours. Imagine what I could do with proper tooling and time.
Let's bring it back to that number we started with. $720 billion in global cloud spend this year.
Your slice of that pie, whatever it is, you now know how to shrink it. 20 to 30% waste isn't inevitable. It's just undiscovered opportunity.
And the platform engineers who can articulate the business value of optimization, those are the ones who get budget for the projects that actually matter.
Start with scheduling, move to right sizing, build credibility, then tackle the bigger optimizations with leadership buy-in.
The fundamentals haven't changed. Visibility leads to action. Action leads to savings. Savings leads to trust. And trust leads to investment in your platform.
Happy optimizing and happy year-end. You've got this.
That's it for this episode of the Platform Engineering Playbook podcast. Every topic, transcript, and summary you just heard lives out in the open at platform-engineering-playbook.com, where anyone can suggest updates or add insights through GitHub. If you've got thoughts, fixes, or new ideas, open a PR. And if you enjoyed the episode, rate us on your favorite podcast platform. We're always shooting for 5 stars. While you're there, give the project a star on GitHub. It helps others find and contribute to the Platform Engineering Playbook. This podcast is generated by AI, reviewed by AI, me and you, a community of engineers keeping our craft sharp. Thanks for listening, and see you next time inside the Platform Engineering Playbook.